Who's ready for some Canva new features? I have 8 new features / UI UX improvement for this month of July. That's right, Canva hasn't been sleeping all summer. They released some new stuff. And we are going to discover all of these novelties right now because I like you guys and I want to keep you in the loop. Hey, what's up everyone? Ronnie here, your go-to Canva guru. Once again, welcome back to our channel. This is your place for learning everything about Canva. Today, we continue our series, What's Hot in Canva. I have some new features I would like to talk about, and this is episode 46 of our What's Hot series. So let's jump right in and discover what's new in video. All right, I have a blank video document right here. I'm just going to add a template so it's not too bland. Okay, I'm going to use this one. Sometimes you just gotta dance it out. Okay, so this cool template right here of this guy dancing, but don't you notice something weird? Well, yeah, just like he's saying, there's no music to this, so there's no reason really for him to be dancing. So the novelty, the thing I want to show you, let me pause this guy, is this button right here. You see on the timeline, you see audio. Now, this is what's new. When you click on this, what will happen is that the audio library will automatically pop open right here in the object panel. So this is a shortcut for you to get to the media, or more specifically to the audio library. So previously, to access this audio library, you would have had to click on elements and scroll down to audio right here, click on see all, and then you would get there. So that is, if I'm not mistaken, one click on elements, one click on see all for audio. So that's 2 clicks that you are kind of like saving by clicking on that button right here. So I love that. I love that Canva is making things easier for us. So let's find a little music for our friend dancing right here. Let's see. No, maybe not this. This one is the one I feel. So there you go. I just click on it and it will be added to my timeline. And now, this feels much more appropriate. All right, so one last thing I want to show you about this first new feature is that even if you click out, even if you go about and find some other stuff in the elements library, the audio tab will remain pinned right here underneath the separator in your object panel. So that is cool because I can always come back to my audio library and maybe search for sound effects or search for some new music tracks that I want to drag to my project. So this is the first feature I wanted to show you. This one is available to all users on all plans. So yeah, thanks Canva for this shortcut. All right, let's move over the second category of new features. I'm talking about the UI UX improvement. We have a bunch of these in this batch for July. So let's discover the first one, which has to do with colors. The feature is called More Default Colors, and it allows us to have more choices when you browse through the different default colors and gradients in the Canva colors section. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so I'm just going to create a shape. It doesn't really matter. Let's go for a square and then quickly duplicate this by holding my Option button on my Mac. All right, now I have 2 squares. Okay, they are both blue. And yeah, so when I select the first one, click on the color button right here and scroll down a bit, you should see a section called Default Solid Colors. So now, if you click on See All, you should see much more default colors than previously in Canva. So this is what the feature is all about. Much more choice when it comes to the default color. So I'm not talking about your brand kit colors that would be right here. I'm not talking about the photo colors. I'm not talking about any other colors really. These are the default colors that will always show in Canva. But that's not all. There's something else that you have access to. You have also access to more default gradients. So this is what we used to have, if I am not mistaken. And now click on See All. You have many more gradients, including some metallic ones like this brushed rose metal right here, copper or gold, silver, or even like bluish silver kind of metal. subtitle right here. So these are pretty cool. So let me show you what they look like. These are gradients. So you can always, when you click on the gradient, you can tweak the orientation of the light every gradient that you use. So that is pretty cool. And I love that Canva is adding more options for free users. These are all free and available to everyone in Canva. So look at this gradient, for example. Beautiful. Another one that catches my attention is this one right here. And again, if you want to customize it, click on the color button again, or come back here to the document's color once you have added it to your document, and click on the little sliders right here to change the orientation, to change the style of your gradient. And obviously you can still add or tweak the colors of the gradient from here, but those are just some nice default colors that Canva has added for us. All right, moving on to the next feature. I'm going to go quite fast today because these are not super important improvements. They are little tweaks. You can see that it's summer still. I mean, winter in Australia. But yeah, those are little things, right? They're not game-changing new features. This one is called Customize Your Shapes, or basically the ability to create the shapes that you want with simple sliding tools, right? You can make a shape more or less complex. You can add tips to your shapes. So let me show you. This one is also available to every user, free, pro, teams, edu, enterprise. So everyone will have access to this. Let's start by creating a first shape. So from a blank page, I'm going to go to my elements, right? And shapes should be right here, should be a section on top of your element menu right here. I'm going to click on see all and select a shape right here. I'm going to go for the simple star. So it's a simple 5-point star. And if you select it, now you have this button right here that says corners. So click on that. And from here, you should be able to first round the edges, like round the tips of each of these points. This is not new, I believe. What's new, on the other hand, is these two other sliders. So let me make this pointy. I can add points. So I'm currently at 5. If I want to double that, I could go 10. And there you go. Now I have a star with 10 points. And I could go way more. I could go all the way to 50 and all the way down to 4. So this is new, allowing me to create custom shapes. Let's go for 25. And I can also play around with the inner depth of this shape. Okay, so I can make the core of the shape very tiny or very big, almost as big as a circle, to be honest. But yeah, I think this is cool because it allows me to create really the shape that I need, the shapes that I want. And once they are created, you can still change their colors, right? And you can combine the brand new gradients that Canva gave us with this shape customization tool. And more than that, once they are created, you can still write in your shapes, right? So for example, I can write my name right inside this shape and obviously make that bigger, smaller, change the color of the font by clicking on the font button right here. And there you go. I have created a custom shape, custom star with many points. Remember how many? With my name in the middle. So cool little upgrade. I like that we are moving towards more customization. Let's continue our exploration of the new features. I have one here related to polls and quizzes in Canva, which is a relatively new feature. But the novelty here is that we now have enhanced customization options for these polls and quizzes. Okay, so basically what we can do that we couldn't is to make them on brand. So to use our brand colors to customize the look and feel of these quizzes or polls. And we can still use these on any Canva document. So often I receive the question, how can I use these polls and quizzes? Well, you will have to send the link to your Canva document and people will need to have at least public view link so that they can interact with those quizzes and polls. Okay, you cannot just send a link to the quiz itself. You need to embed it in a Canva document and send that link, share that document. And the other question I get all the time about these polls and quizzes, can I collect email addresses with them? The answer is no. Okay, so that would have been awesome, but that's not the case so far. Maybe in the future, who knows? All right, let me show you the novelty here. Let's open a blank page. Polls and quizzes are to be found under your Elements button. Okay, it happens that I was already in Elements. You scroll down a bit and you should see a section about polls and quizzes. So click on See All. And now when you get here, you can see all your quizzes and all your polls. Okay, and if you really want to see them all, open the entire section, the entire menu, click on See All. So me, I want a poll. I want a simple poll like this, like a 2 answer. This one right here. So the novelty, once this is open on your page, okay, you can obviously make it smaller, bigger. You can put this on a website. You can put this in a presentation. You can put this pretty much anywhere you like. But remember, people will need the link to your Canva document. So going to the share button here, maybe create a public view link, and that is the link that you will need to share. You can also share a link to that specific page. If you come to the page, 3 little dots, copy link to this page. Okay, so these are the ways to share your quizzes or polls. Okay, so when you click on it, now you can edit this poll. Okay, so let's click on edit. The first thing I want to show you is that you can completely customize the colors. Okay, so if I want to make this on brand for Team RONNY, I can simply go to my team's color, my brand kit's color, and choose my pink. Okay, and this greenish color right here, which is not my brand, I can replace it for my light gray color. Obviously, you can edit the text as well, so I can do so quickly. Have you subscribed to our channel yet? It's just a random question I might ask you if I was to run into you, maybe in an event or something. Okay, so of course, that would be the first response. And the second one would be no, but I was about to. So this is now a poll that I can send to anyone with a simple link. All right, so that's what I wanted to show you. And then once people have it, they can click on any of the answers and see the number of percentage of people who have voted for one answer or the other. What else can you do? You can see the responses right here. See, I have one vote, so I could see responder Ronnie Hermosa has answered this. No, but I was about to. Okay, so you'll have a little, as the owner of this document, you'll have a little bit of statistics to see your responses. And you can click here to see it full screen. And you can even link this to a sheet, which is pretty cool if you want to keep that data handy. All right, so this is what I wanted to show you. Some more customization options for your quizzes and polls. And I think this is great. Like, I love these little pop-up quizzes and polls. They are very practical. When I create a presentation, I use some of that. You could do this during a live session. So yeah, like, there's so many different ways to use them. And I like that we can now make them on brand. All right, moving on to the next UI improvement. This one is called Swap Line Direction in just one click. Okay, the name is not completely obvious. I mean, it is obvious, but if I don't explain to you what it does, you might not understand. So this instantly flips the direction of any line or connector without manually adjusting its path, keeping your flowcharts tidy and consistent. And it's available to all users on all plans. I feel like in order to show you how this works, I need to get into a whiteboard. So I'm going to click on my second page right here, click the 3 little dots and expand this to a whiteboard. In case you didn't know, you can add a whiteboard to your presentation by doing this little trick right here. All right, so I'm here. Let's open a template. Okay, so design. I'm gonna go for this customer flow charts. Yeah, perfect. I don't need all of this. All I need is my flow chart, and I can collapse this window. I'm gonna make this nice and big so you can see. All right, so this feature has to do with arrows. Okay, this arrow, for example. So you see the arrow is pointing towards the Lila box right here, text box. So let me click on the arrow, and now you should see on the floating menu right here this new button that says swap line ends. So pay attention to the end of this line pointing to this Lila text box. Okay, again, I'm gonna click here and then click here. So you see I've quickly swapped the direction of this arrow from one direction to the other by using this button right here. Let me see if I can make that more obvious by zooming in some more. See, there you go. So you could use these buttons right here to just create a different style of ending your line. And just like that, you can just swap from one to the other. Okay, I'm going to go back to a full arrow. So guys, this is useful. This is not going to change my life and probably not yours either, unless you have a PhD in flowcharts. But I mean, this is still interesting, a little convenient feature for those of us working with flowcharts. This could be a big deal actually, because these arrows takes time to draw them. And once you have a perfect one, or if you're using a template like I do, it's really easy to use that button to just swap the direction. So there you go. Well done, Canva, I guess. Let's talk about Magic Media because there's something new here. Magic Media is now adding style reference. Okay, I'm gonna get to this. Create consistent content by uploading a reference image to Magic Media. So all new images generated will match the style of your chosen reference. Okay, so this is Canva. Give it a bit of love to Magic Media. This is gonna be available to paid users only, so not for free users. Let me start by showing you where Magic Media is. Okay, so right here under your apps, okay, and discover, if you scroll down a bit, it's under the apps from Canva. You should see a button that says Magic Media. There you go. All right, so let me show you how this update works. From images, it's only gonna work with your images, not with graphics, not with videos. So when you click on images, click on the styles button, and this big button on top of everything that says upload a reference image will bring you either to the library, to your uploaded media. So you can choose something from here, or you can upload your own file. Okay, me, I'm just gonna scroll my uploaded stuff here, and I'm gonna use this little brain character right here. Okay, so I'm gonna click here, and I'm gonna say a brain character playing the banjo. Okay, a brain character playing the banjo. I added the reference image. I can see it's referenced here. I can choose the landscape, square, or let's go for square. That's fine. And I'm going to generate the image. It's going to cost me 1 credit. Okay, one of the unified AI credits that Canva give us. And there you go. I have something very similar indeed to my first character. Okay, so I guess the two ones that are the best are these two. They're not as good as my reference, but again, like, I'm not a huge fan of Magic Media because it's using a very outdated AI model, in my opinion, like image generation. Let me show you the original in my uploads. It was this one right here. So, I mean, I guess it's inspired the right way. You see the color palette in the pastel tones. We can clearly see, okay, so it's a brain character with little legs and arms. Maybe this one is more faithful to the original image, but it's not exactly that. But that is what this new feature does. Okay, it's not great. I mean, in my opinion, sorry, Canva, if you're watching this, I don't think it's great. But it does give us more control over what kind of image is being generated. I just wish it worked better. I just wish it was closer to the original reference photo. And I most importantly wish that we could have this when using Canva AI. I mean, we can, like when we generate an image, we can already do this, but I wish we could do this for video generation. So if we could start a VO3 generated video in Canva from a frame or from a reference image, that would be amazing. So that is really the update I am hoping for. All right, let's switch gear here and move over to a new category of features. Actually, there's only one feature in this category, but I'm talking about charts. There is something new in charts that I think you need to know about. All right, so this feature is called Create Chart Titles, and basically does what it says. It's allowing me to add a title and a subtitle to my chart, so it's easier for people who will come across this chart to understand what it is about. So let me show you. Charts will be found under the Elements tab. So click on Elements, scroll down until you see Charts. Okay, so right here, see all. I'm gonna go and use, I don't know, like a pie chart. There you go. I'm going to reduce the size a little bit, and a few things you can do from here. Okay, you can change the color. Okay, let's just go and change the color for my custom pinks. All right, like so. So this is not the novelty. So I have my chart right here. I don't know what this chart is about. I just see like 3 different portions to my pie chart. I don't know what it is about. So you can click on it and then click on the edit button right here. And now I can customize this chart. If I come over here to this section right here, the first tab is going to be your regular spreadsheet kind of thingy here, where you can add your values and change the values of your chart. You can import data. So this is not new. What's new is the second tab right here, customize. Okay, so you can click on text. So you can customize the text, or you can customize the settings. But let's play with the text for now. So the name of my chart is the number of people subscribed to our channel. Yes, I know, I'm not going to leave you alone, guys. Subtitle, what are you waiting for? Okay, so people subscribe to our channel. What are you waiting for? Item number one can come back to my data. Item number one, I can change that. If people not subscribed, 62%. And item number two would be the subscriber people subscribes. Okay, item number three is just people who don't know. I don't know. You should not have this item, so I can delete it. But coming back, like all seriousness, what you can do here is basically this. Like you can select the format of your values, percentages, numbers. Okay, you can add a title, add a subtitle. You can add a source if you want. You can add a link, and then here in your settings, you can play around with filters. Okay, so really, like you can select the data you want to add filters to, the style, so it could be buttons, a range slider. I think my data set here is very basic. It's just like two values. But once you have more robust data set, come back to this, experiment with these new features right here to add filters. And most importantly, in my opinion, to label properly your charts. So to give them a title and a subtitle, which will make a huge difference if you work a lot with data in your Canva docs, in your Canva presentations. Right, I'm not a big chart guy, so sorry about this. So I never have like a lot of data to show you complicated chart designs. Maybe one day I get into this, but I'm not so much of a numbers person. But yeah, I'm a Canva person. So let's move on to the next feature. I have one last thing for you today. Okay, I promised 8 novelties, so this is the 8th one, and it's something that's new in templates because Canva gave us a little gift, or at least for those of you who are into this. I'm talking about the Marvel template collection. All right, so we can now discover and use, if you are a pro or paid user, because this is pro only, 180 Marvel templates in the Canva library under the Disney account. I have prepared this little QR code for you guys to access the template collection immediately from here without leaving this tutorial. But yeah, so scan the code. It will lead you straight to the Canva library where you can discover these templates. Let me show you what they look like. So there you go. The Disney account template collection for Marvel. They've had different collections before. You can see here Lilo and Stitch. We've had the Star Wars collections, the Cars, but this one is all about the Marvel universe. So here we will find templates with characters from the Fantastic Four, from the Avengers, and from the Spider-Man universe. Okay, so let me find one that I like. This one is pretty cool. Fantastic Four, I guess. Yeah, so these are great because they give you all of the assets. Make sure you read the terms of use for these templates because they're still Disney property, I guess, but you can use them in Canva. You can create all sorts of design with them. I just don't think you can just print that on a t-shirt and start selling it. So be careful about that. But me, for example, here, La Fiesta de Cuatro de Juan. Okay, I got templates in Spanish because I'm located in Spain. Let's customize this and have a proper look at what we have inside the template. You see, this is kind of locked. Why is this? I don't know. This is just the design of the template. This is pretty cool. Let me zoom out a bit. So we have the characters here that come from the second page. I like that they give you all of the assets. We have the logo, and then yeah, we have this font right here, notable Flattery HC condensed. So yeah, this is great for birthday parties, for little quizzes, for presentations. If you're a student, if you want to look cool in front of your classmates, there you go. You have a bunch of superheroes from the Marvel universe. All right, guys, this is episode 46 of What's Hot in Canva for me. I think I did a good job at covering all of these features in a relatively short time. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a like. Share this video with someone who is interested in learning more about Canva or just being kept in the loop of what's new in Canva. Share it on your social. By all means, this is always helping me and us with Diana grow this channel. And that's it for me. 2 announcements before I leave you. Don't forget to check out the Canva Master Course. We are completely updating it again. And we already published a lot of new material in the Canva Master Course on Udemy. Link will be in the description. And the second thing is that I'm going to leave you with the rest of the What's Hot playlist right here so you can catch the previous episodes in case you missed them.